So really quickly here, I sort of am in progress, and I'm finding that a lot of my little tissue papers definitely want to stick together. So you want to make sure that as you're working, you don't still let them try to kind of come apart as chunks of paper. You want to try to separate those and organize them if that helps you to find them where they are. Uh, figure out which ones are black, which ones are brown, which ones are dark, and which ones are light of the same colors. And you can always flip them over. Like when I pick this up, my brown is stuck to it. So I want to make sure that my brown is where I want it to be and that my green is where I want it to be. Or if you're trying to do a color blend, that's fine. It's just that there probably isn't enough of the tissue paper to do too many. Black is a lot of fun with the tissue paper squares. Just be careful that it's not going over a color that you really, 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 really like, because it will dominate it. It's something about how the paint is made, how the color is made, even in our crayons. It's so, so deep. So I'm going to finish filling up my paper with all kinds of different colors and get ready to give it a quick spray. Okay, one last thing. When we get ready to spray, you want to make sure that you are doing this in an area where you can leave it alone. Now mine is fine here on my table overnight. I want to leave it alone and make sure that my cat doesn't get into it. I want to rinse out my brush and not leave it sitting in the water. A lot of people want to leave it sitting in there, but you want to go ahead and store it up like this, or just leave it to dry. Do not try to push the bristles down, because if you push them, think of it like a hairstyle. It will mess up the hairstyle of your hairbrush, and it's hard to get it back. Now, if you're doing this in the classroom or at home and you want to spray it one more time, you want to make sure it's in an area where you leave it alone and do a very gentle spray. So I'm doing it really, really slowly and softly. But I'm going to get it pretty wet because I can. So it depends on what's going on with where you are. If you have a nice clean surface area that you can do this on without having to worry about color getting on it, or if you can use plastic or some other paper, a countertop that can be wiped off, you're all set. But if not, you might want to skip the spraying. Think about it before you go ahead and do that part. So we're going to leave it alone overnight and let it dry and see how this turns out. So make sure that you don't touch the project and just let it sit, and we'll see how it comes out in the morning.